5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi Rakesh.
Hi Faisal.
How are you?
How are you?
I know, very long time. Thanks for coming on. I wanted to do this, like I said before, first episode with you. It's easier that way because I feel more comfortable around you. So now I'm going to do it tomorrow and day after tomorrow with all the other people. But yeah, it's for a start. I just want to be like comfortable with the people I know of. And it's been what, 12, 13 years?
Yeah, I think 12, 11 years I guess.
11 years?
11 years. 2008 I met you last time.
You were in 8th when you met me?
Yes.
Wait, when I was in 2008, that I remember. 2009 I came back, or in 2008 only I came back for a visa renewal.
Yeah, that's when I met you.
Yeah, I think it's 2008. So it's been 10 years
10
now.
years.
11th year going on right now. So what have you been up to, man?
Now I finished, of course, as every Indian student, just finished my UG in engineering and doing my MBA in media and intent.
You did engineering in what?
Civil.
Civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
But your interest is in motorsport.
Well, yeah, my interest is in motorsport for sure. But then, parallelly, I also have an interest towards media and entertainment, especially into television and film industry.
Mm.
And so that's why I've taken my MBA into media.
But when you have an interest in motorsport, you could have done engineering in mechanics or something like that, right?
See, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't more into the technical part. I wasn't more interested in technical part. And if I wanted to know something, I could easily study through the net and everything, surf it. And I did study with all the online coaching and everything. But then I wasn't first of all, I wasn't interested in getting into engineering college itself because my idea was that, it just fixed in my brain stating that, engineering is no more.
That is true.
That's true, right?
That is true.
So when I was transfixed to that level, then I was like, there was a point where my parents said that you have to be an engineer, and I was in stage. But then they said me, if you take an engineer, we will get into you in motorsport. That was the deal.
Oh man, dude, even my parents play that trick with me. That's like the real classic Indian parents rule,
True. That was the deal.
They make a deal with you at that time.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird. But at certain point, you just think that deal kind of helps you later on in life.
True. See,
yeah.
In one way, I feel it's still useless because I actually wasted 4 years. I did my civil.
Yeah.
Well, to be really honest, I have no idea what did I even do with the 4 years. Okay, imagine if instead I have done as I said, I like what you call hotel management. I like media and entertainment. If I have done something in that as a UG, my undergraduate, I would have been much more happier. Because even if there's nothing has happened, even if I would have excelled in my motorsports, then I would have taken up as a hotel management as my career, or as a media sales in my career, right? So it's fine. So that is the best thing which I like. But then even that time, there was a deal that was put into right in front of my face. I had no other choice.
So your dad was an engineer, right?
Yeah, he was an electrical engineer.
And your brother too get into an engineering?
Yeah, even he did an engineering, but he's in networking as well. Yeah.
He's a network. It always fascinates me that when I know a lot of people who did engineering, and then after they finish their 4 years, I'm like, bro, what are you up to? Oh, I'm working as copywriter and advertising agency. I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Seriously? You slaved your ass off at college.
But one thing, the other best part of being an engineering student is that most of the engineering students, they don't end up being engineer. They end up being actually whatever they, whatever their passion, whatever their passion was,
True.
And that 4 years helps them to, actually, literally get into that by practicing or, getting the experience, within the 4 years. Actually, kind of engineering also does play a big important role for some individuals to get into their, whatever passion they have. Because it's like, just say that, it's like a time pass period for 4 years. Just the outer world is an engineer, but actually in inner side you're not an engineer. You're driving through your passion.
The college period is like, a lot of people get that confused because college is not even actually about studies.
Yeah.
It's all about how you handle things in life.
It's all a physical experience.
Yeah, that's how they would like to do that. And I've like I said, a lot of people who went into engineering, they come out and they just decide to go. And I know this is I don't know if it's a trend or if it's just like that. A lot of people who are too involved in photography, videography, or want to get into movies or media, in any sort of media field, they're always an engineering bunch.
No, when I did my 12th grade, right? So in Chennai, of course, in St. Joseph Residential School. You know what happened is, I think a couple of days before my boards, you receive an what do you call confirmation letter from the board stating that these are your subjects that you're going to appear.
Yeah, that's
and then you got to sign it. Yeah, before the pre-hall ticket sign. You got to sign it and then send it to the higher secondary board office, and then they'll send you the hall ticket.
But hold on, you did your 10th and 12th here.
11th and 12th.
11th and 12th here. Okay.
So that time, just again before the signing period, they asked me to check my. They asked me to go to the formalities where I have to check all my subjects if they are clear and everything. So I checked my subject codes and everything, and then I signed. But then that it should have been a single paper signature, but then it was like it had about 10 pages. Okay, my signature, they only record my signature on the first page. I just wanted to see what are the other pages. So when I just went through, you won't believe. Okay, before I say, can you just guess how many subjects would they be in 11th and 12th? Just okay, 12th, take it 12th.
So if you're talking CBSE?
Yeah, CBSE with combining like science, commerce, whatever stream is there, just combine everything on an approximate manner. You can just guess how much subjects
15, I think, if you combine both. That's how it was back in ISJ, as far as I remember.
There are more than 80 to 100 subjects.
What?
Yeah. I myself, I was like, what? I was like, what is this? True. There's so many subjects.
But how? Like for commerce, it was what? Business, accounting, economics.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had an optional subject.
Yeah. So the problem is that people over here they take that they get fixed to their mind, stating that only these are your main subjects. They consider your optional subjects to be not more important than your main subject. There's nothing called main and optional. That's the point I'm trying to say right now. Is so end of the day, the word physics is like this. They consider for me. I believe that the word physics is like the very common subject. That's the main. But rather, on an example, I'm saying here, and rather than you having a physical education as your main subject. So apparently, my school, they had an option of physical education as your 12th grade subject.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah.
There were nearly only about 3 schools that time, 2012. There was only 3 schools which had this option in entire Chennai. Only 3 schools.
As a main subject?
Yeah, as a main subject.
Okay.
So, out of 6 subjects, you should choose minimum 5, or you can even have 6 subjects. You can even appear for 6 in the exam. So, with the ideology that even if you flunk in one of them,
so you get the 5 covered.
Yeah, out of best 5.
Yeah.
So they included physical education as a main now. So what I'm trying to say is, so there are more than 80 more subjects, so which people can actually include into a main. There's nothing called optional into this stage. What I want is, you want to go to science stream? Choose what you want to get into.
This is a major flaw in the education system.
That's it. So when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, that's something I didn't even expect it. I was so surprised. I was like, what is this? I asked my faculty, what is this? I was like, yeah. Then I'm like, why are they not even putting up the subjects on the schools, whatever, the prospective book or whatever, just so that at least they can make the parents and the students that they're getting into, just to educate them or something, that there's so many subjects, you can choose this and that and everything. So the only reply I got from him is that none of them want that. They just want engineering subjects. Like direct engineering subjects, the common ones. That's what I'm saying. Physics, chemistry, maths.
Yeah.
So these are the very common ones to get into, to be an engineer, right?
Yeah, true.
So this is much enough for them. This is much more enough for them. And not your what do you call it? And again, if you go to commerce, just like your accounts and business and whatever, the economics, whatever, the main one. So again in economics, there are again a lot of subsidiary subject. And each topic goes into a subject now, actually.
Yeah.
That's what is there into 80 subjects, I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Each particular subject.
Like like 5th or 7th we used to have one social science book which comprises of 5 subjects into one.
That was history, geography, civics.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
All of it together.
Into one, it's called as some social studies or something. It used to be called in one subject. All 5 put into one.
They don't. It's kind of weird how they keep patronizing kids at 11th and 12th. This is how this current education looks at these things. Because when a kid is 11th or 12th, currently right now with all the technology available for anyone who's accessing anything, they already know what they want to do with their life. So if they start pursuing the subjects that they want to do, like say I want to do physics but I want to do cosmology.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I think there's a subject of cosmology, but then it's not included in the main option. It's never included.
Yeah, it's never included. We never... I mean, as I studied physics till 10th, I never read anything. All I know is Big Dipper and this and that and everything. The rest of the knowledge you gain is like after college and everything, you just read physics books because there are some really good authors and stuff, and then you're just like, wow, dude, this is interesting. I never knew this actually happens. And your interest is kind of spiked. But imagine if you had those interests peak at that particular age and you can choose that particular subject. You're just set for life where you go.
That's what I want. That's what I believe that at least it should happen in the near future. I don't know how far it's going to get into that.
It's getting everyone convinced to go ahead with that kind of thing is kind of hard. Because parents nowadays, it's like a cycle. It's going to be very hard to break that cycle actually with them. And so very few people who have achieved something in their life or has gone some places in life, and they know that if they just tweak the education system right now in India, it will go to a completely different path. Everything from whatever things that we wanted to be kind of modernized over here, it just starts modernizing it, because the way the current generation grows up to be when they choose the subjects they want to do and they love what they want to do is good. Every corner there is an engineering college. Every corner there is a doctor college. The more engineers out, then they can employ. Where are they all going? So it's a tough thing.
I mean, we say IIT is the best college in India in terms of engineering and everything. Because when it's compared to the world level, I don't know how do they rate colleges, but then IIT is not within 100 at the time. I don't know to what extent and how do they rate and all, but then I don't know. It's always a big question mark. Then why isn't IIT within the 100? It's more than 100 when it comes to the rating.
Okay.
It's not under the 100 best colleges in the world.
It's not part of the 100 best colleges now. I think for India it is. Maybe not the world.
There has to be a reason over there. That's what I always think. But it's again for me, that is a question mark. Why isn't, when we say it's the best college, why isn't so? Is it because of the method they teach or what? I don't know.
Or could be the output of people who go out of there and achieve something in life.
Indeed, they're very good people, of course.
Yeah. So you can't take credit for that.
Yeah.
That's what I talk about colleges when they try to grab credit.
I know.
My college. This is me shitting on my college, by the way.
Okay, let me be very honest with one thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I want to boldly say that when I was in my 10th grade, you wouldn't believe I just passed out with 47%.
It's okay.
47%. But you know what happened?
I'm proud to have that number.
Yeah. And I was happy with it.
Yeah.
But when I got in my 11th, my dad was very worried. He was like, he wanted me to be an engineer, so he's like, he was so worried that I won't get a science stream with this percentage. When I joined the school, when we asked them, they said, no problem, sir. Doesn't mean he has to take care of himself. Or we can only guide him. So what happened? I imagine 12th I got 70 or 69.8, 71. So that's the difference. See, if you have gone to any other school, okay, they would be like, this guy is not fit even for commerce. You should go for the...
Dude, that actually happened with me in ISJ.
Yeah,
you studied in ISJ,
right?
right?
I did.
When I finished my 10th grade, I had low marks and I can't get into science stream. So, the teacher over there, I don't remember who the teacher name was. She was so great. She just told me, look, I can take you into science. You are not doing good in science at all in your 9th and 10th. So do you want to suffer for another 2 years if you don't have an interest in it? Just because, you've got pressure from home or whatever. That was like an interesting question. I just started thinking, like, do I really need to suffer? And I went home, had a talk, and I was like, that was in business anyways. I was like, it's okay, it's your decision what you want to do. If you want to take commerce, you take commerce. I'm glad they actually let me have that decision, So I was like, okay, cool. But a lot of kids didn't have that choice.
So since I was forced in science stream, but the best part was the school, they accepted me. They didn't take back the steps even for once. The moment we asked them for science, they were like, sure, let him take it. He will do it. See, me so I have to actually praise that school, because from 47 to 69 in 12th grade is something great.
Yeah.
Instead of hiring a student who takes 90%, and in the end he or she gets 92.
True.
Was able to score 90 already. There's no use of him making to score 92. He himself can do it.
Yeah. So some schools
that's not right. That's not a thing that I have to be very proud of or something.
So how was 12th, 11th and 12th? Were they was the way of teaching was so much better than back in Jeddah?
I mean, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was the best, or something that was very, very different from any other teaching or something. But again, can't expect every faculty to be the same in every way.
True.
As it should back in Saudi, how it was like. Imagine we have 10 faculties, 1 or 2 will be extremely good, the rest might be average, and 1 or 2 might be even below average. The same thing over here, but then the culture of education was kind of different. There, they don't force you to study or something like that.
Where?
In Chennai, in the school, St. Joseph Residential School. Until I finished my 12th, I'm not sure how it is right now. Until I finished my 12th, that was fine. There wasn't a culture where they forced you, or made you to, study all the time or something like that. I mean, usually that's what happens in the Indian school system, right? They give you a lot of homework. It's like, some nutcrack projects and all.
Yeah.
And
I feel bad. Like, I was just walking to a store in the evening before you came, and I saw kids with bags which were like grocery bags. And this has been like, oh man, I remember doing that, but that was young, dude. You're like 3-4 years old. Why are you carrying such heavy bags? But when it comes to education, you had a roller coaster in it, didn't you? You switched between a lot of schools. You studied in OT also?
Yeah, OT also. I did about 3 schools. Yeah, I changed 3 schools. Not much. But my brother he changed a lot of schools.
Where was it?
Me?
Yeah.
Initially I started with Saudi, of course, Jeddah, from LKG to 3rd.
In ISJ?
Okay. Yeah, it was first one at some other primary school or somewhere, I forgot the school name, and then to ISJ, and then to UT, 4th to 7th, UT, 8th, 10th again back to Jeddah, ISJ, ISJ 8th, 9th, 10th again DPS Jeddah.
Oh yeah, you went to DPS, I remember. My brother was in DPS, my sister was in DPS, and you moved to DPS, I remember. Yeah.
And 11th, 12th, Chennai.
11th, 12th, Chennai. It's been a roller coaster for you, experiencing different kind of
the best of all is Uti, dude. Uti is the best of all.
And any hill stations, any schools, they always find them best. I meet people from there, they're like, oh, it's a different life, bro. I can't explain it.
It's actually a different life. It's like, it's hard to explain it unless you go and physically be there and experience it.
It's something about having an education in a cold place.
That's a vibe. The word vibe, that's actually a vibe over there.
That is true. That is true. Because even when you travel to some hilly places and you go on vacation or whatever, the only mood you get is actually read something, or explore something. So exploring itself is like, you trying to, as a human being, you're still trying to learn things through exploring. So it's still educational for you. And it's something to do with high altitude and cold temperatures, and you just feel as a tropical species as us, because we've been living like what? Saudi Arabia was hot all the time. You're in Chennai, another hot place, and then you're in cold place, and it's just like completely refreshing. I think that's why a lot of people who come from the cold places, get into it.
True.
And you were into horses in Ooty?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I love horses.
A lot. I enjoyed it. I mean, like, that's when, my brother, because me and my brother, we both joined into house.
So it was a hostel?
Boarding. Yeah, boarding.
Okay.
Every day in the gaming time, and the game times, around 5 to, I think, 4:30 to 6:30, 2 hours. That's your gaming time, sports time actually. My brother would go back to football or cricket. I would just go back to the stable. I just go back to the stable. I'm going there.
So they had a stable?
They had their own
within
stable. Initially they didn't.
Okay.
They used to bring horses from the race course.
Okay.
Weekly once basis. Okay, weekly once. But then later they constructed their own stable and they had a full-time riding course.
So you learned riding and everything from there.
Yeah.
It's a whole different feeling riding
So,
another living thing, isn't it?
One great thing that I loved it so much because I used to feel them as my own pet. So it's like I even feed them sometimes. You should not, actually you should not.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just go ask and okay, fine. Slowly give them some grains and yes.
So you had one particular horse that
No,
you
I
connected
was comfortable with all.
Okay.
But there's one which is very tough.
But
But I got a chance only in the end to control it. But I did control it. But it was tough. It was very tough.
man, I would love to work in a horse ranch and just spend time with, completely connect with a horse. They're just magical beings.
The best part was that all those race courses, houses when they bought, they bought one or two were already trained. Yeah, they were already trained, but the rest was like new. So I even was part of their training thing for the horses. So
How old were you then?
fourth, fifth.
So were you like what, 14, 12? That's a pretty good age to get into these things, especially start training.
Of course, physically, I was able to go through all the things. I could see the stages, observing as an observer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could see how they train, how they did it. Because I liked those parts. All my other friends used to go for cricket and everything. I used to go for here.
So, how was the experience? What's the basic things?
That's of course, that's it's too hard. That's when you in the beginning they start, first thing is making the focus, putting those, this, what do you call the eye stages?
Yeah. The one that covers them.
That covers the eyes.
It stops them in distraction.
Yeah, distraction. Initially, it's too hard to make them get used to it. They used to whack, they used to start giving a buck and all.
Like a buck, what do you mean, like a kick?
Yeah, like a kick. 2 legs and behind, back 2 legs.
Have you got kicked?
I haven't got kicked. I would have passed away that same day.
That would be one hell of a story, bro. I was just behind the horse and I got kicked. Dude, that's one of the things that really scares me when I go behind a horse. I was just like, do not kick me. I am not fit. Do not kick me. I won't survive that. So I used to do that.
That slowly, just learned it. Saw a few things.
Mm-hmm.
You're not allowed to go and see every day.
Okay.
But I had an opportunity to see it at least sometime.
So were these thoroughbreds or proper race horses?
Yeah, as I said, few of them were proper race horses. Few of them were what do you call fresh ones, just bought, and then they started training it. They took for them 2 months to train it.
But not all end up being the ones that go from
on the ranch,
on the race courses, right? Yeah, they get owned by people who pay so much amount of money,
Actually, as I said, maybe I think they bought 6 or 7. Already 3 were proper race course
because they got retired from the race course and these people bought it. School bought them.
Yeah.
Apparently they had retirement life in our school. So that's why those 3 were
properly trained, right?
Wow,
yeah. So they don't have when you were around these horses or around these people who train horses, have you noticed any horses having traumatic experiences or because they were race horses, they're conditioned with proper...
See, one thing is that I was in a very young age.
Okay.
4th to 7th. So even at that time, technically speaking, I didn't have any idea about all those things.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just learned what to be learned in that age. Again in terms of but by physically seeing everything or physically observing everything, I didn't feel anything traumatic or something. That's fine.
So, what was those lessons you learned at that time being with the horses?
See, the best thing is that end of the day, one thing is that you're doing it for your pleasure. I mean, just riding on it.
Yeah.
Second day, even they are also living.
Yeah.
So it's again as the same, like how a human works for 8 hours, as in what do you call it, an average working per day. That's the maximum. So same week, that's the maximum you can take for an horse. You can make them work or do something. So making them overwork or something, it's equivalent to what you're doing. Like how hard whatever you feel.
Yeah.
So I feel that making them riding them or something to a limited hours is fine. You need to give them the same respect as what we give to other humans in terms of their work life cycle and everything. So a proper stable, proper food for them so that they have their own good health. Equally, so however you respect a human, the same way when you respect the animal, I felt that it's the good. You'll have a good relationship with them for a longer period.
That is true. That is very true. It's like
imagine I'm the boss of my own firm. That's because I have a labor. Doesn't mean I can make him work for 24 hours. Just because I pay him.
Yeah, true.
I can't do that.
It's cruelty, man. But some people just forget that. Some companies I worked in, I was like, how do you... I used to tell them, man, fuck you, I'm leaving. I'm not going to do this anymore with you right now. There was one particular company, even though I resigned, that was a funny story though. Just decided up and leave. I was like, dude, I'm not working for you anymore. You're crap. But that connection that you're talking with another living being that is not even an animal is like having a connection with a dog too at the same time. But it's a difference because you can't ride a dog. But when riding a horse, it's a completely different thing because I know the basics though, like the side, like you tap the thing to make it jog, you lose the reins a little bit, it will start running faster, you hold it tighter, it will stop, left, right, these things. But when you're doing it, because whenever I go to Kodaikanal or Ooty or any place like this, I'll be like, bro, I want to ride the horse, but don't mess around with me, let me do this myself. I've been riding around here and there, so you pick up small things here and there. So when you're riding it, when you get this courage to actually ride it, there's always this small fear because you don't know where you're going to make a mistake and this animal's going to kick your ass off when you're riding
it's
it.
going to backfire.
When is it going to throw you off?
But then again, it's like when you have that connect to that, it's just like imagine you and me being a very close friend. Of course, we might have a backfire for each other at one point. It's going to happen. So it's going to be the same with you with the animal.
Yeah.
So I feel everything is just one. Okay, just because they have 3 cents or whatever we have, it doesn't mean that they're different. But they can think. They can think. They can connect with you. I think I feel more than a human. That's what I feel.
Yeah, when you're with them, right?
Yeah, with them actually.
Oh man, imagine those days when they used to ride around on horse all the time.
That's like
I kind of miss those actually. I wish we kind of go back and start riding horses everywhere, and that always have the one horse that you'll have this connection with. That's like the same thing with cars, by the way. We substituted that connection with cars nowadays. You always have that one connection with that one car, no matter how bad it is, no matter even if it's not fast. You just have that connection. Which is that vehicle for you?
for me it's BMW.
You had one?
I don't have one.
No, I'm talking about the one that you personally had.
Personally I had was
The one that you had that connection.
the Camry.
The one in
Saudi.
the one in Saudi.
See, it's like, of course, it's an what do you call it, family car or a luxury car.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of Toyota's one of the luxuries segment.
True.
But it has its own fun when it comes especially for drifting. Many people won't know Camry is good for drifting.
I know that.
Okay, of course the Arabs will know it, but not the other.
And not the other people.
Yeah, because that's where I started. That's where I wanted to get to that. I felt that I didn't rush from the Camrys thing. I saw those Arabs drifting and all.
Yeah, I think
I had
the deep root of passion for racing would actually come from Saudi. Yeah, because there were crazy assholes on the road, dude. And because I think now that I'm in India, I miss roads back in Dubai and Jeddah, dude. But I can just go at 120 and not care about anyone cutting me off. So that rush that you get in those countries driving the car around. Well, when it comes to connection, yours was the Camry. I had a Lancer, 2007 model, the one that looks like an Evo.
Yeah.
The older version of Evos, not the Evo X, Evo 7 or Evo 8 kind of thing. And I used to name it Eleanor. Right? My God, the car suffered, bro. I'll show you a picture of it in the end at what state it was. I lost its grill. My windshield was broken because my bonnet came flying off. Dude, that car, no matter how much I fix it, never got fixed. Okay. And that was the car I used it for like most part of my life in Dubai, for college and everything. Because I was like, man, I'm going to drive this. I'm happy with this. Fuel consumption is okay. Nobody cares about fuel consumption there. And it was just like, there was a funny period, dude, having that vehicle. So when you say the rush you get out of drifting, have you done it?
Yeah, I've tried on the street, but then later I felt, I was like, I was getting guilty impression because it was like, that's not a place where you try it. But I did try
When?
Again, I was in 7th and 8th grade.
You took the car out when you were 7th?
I took my car exactly on 7th standard. And I was in 7th, I took my car.
Nice.
That's how it started me driving. I always see my dad driving and my uncle and everyone. So one day, usually what happens is, before me, my dad, my family, we leave out, my dad asked me to go and turn on the car, put on the window so that the inner air goes out and for ventilation and everything. So initially for 5 minutes the car runs before we start the car. So I do that initial process every time. And I like that. I used to go sit in the driver's seat. And I used to think that I'm driving right now. I have this dream about it. So I kept on doing that again and again. And one day, I don't know, from nowhere, I got this guts in me saying that, come on, let's take it.
Take it reverse.
Take it reverse. Yeah, then I was like, should I take it for a round, for a spin, or just a reverse? I was like, okay, man, let's see what's happening. I just put the gear in reverse. And again, that's what I'm saying, it's a Camry. That's why it connected me so good. Because the first car I drove was Camry again.
For me too, man.
Yeah. I drove?
Manual or automatic?
Manual.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes.
Manual Camry is the best. No automatic. The best thing my dad has ever done is that
Manual.
the best car he has ever bought is Camry, that too with a manual Camry. Because before that, he had a Corolla, but then we just wasn't for a very long time. I didn't like, I kind of like Corolla, but again, that's a manual, but I didn't like much. I like Camrys. It was a 3 model manual.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
The one with the straight lights.
Yeah, the straight lights. Yeah.
Dude, I have a story like that too. First riding experience I had with a manual, which I learned, was in my friend's car and I'm Camry, with his driver. And you know who I'm talking about. If guy listens to it, they're like, I know. So it's his car I drove around, and I think I was in 6th, that time, 6th or 7th, something like that age. And so go on. So I
took the reverse.
Yeah.
And I just maybe out of reversed for about 10 meters. Just reversed. I was so happy. I just thought back to the same position. I made sure it's the same position again.
Oh yeah.
And my dad came. I was like, okay, come, let's go. So again, I repeated that second time. I was happy with the reverse concept. Third time when I took for a spin. I was like, let me take it. I took for the spin. My dad saw. Like, what you're doing? How can you? He started scolding me like so bad. He was like, this is not India, this is Saudi. This next minute you'll be in jail. I was like, okay. He's like, not just you, even me. So I was like, are you worried about me getting a jail or you getting a jail? So he was like, see, this is not, you're just 7th grade, you just 12 to 13 years old students, don't do all this shit. It's not good for your age. do you know to drive? I was like, yeah, that's what you've seen. I just went for a spin. Come on, I do know. When did you learn? Like, no, I just saw you driving. I just observed you driving and everything. Okay, fine. Make sure you don't do this next time. I was like a little bit worried. Then from next time on, he never gave me the keys to just go turn on the car initially and everything. About a week or 2 weeks later, then he himself called me. Like, come, let's go for a drive. And then he was surprised. Then he started asking me, how did you have, from where did you get the guts to drive like this? And like, I don't know, it's what, I just drove it, just a spin, that's it. Now, you sit at the driver's seat, I'll sit and the passenger seat. Like, we went for a ground, playing ground, and drove, and he was happy with me. Driving there. It got comfortable. Then I myself, I knew, yes, I can drive. Then very soon I came to India. After that, immediately after that I came to India, to my hometown, Rajapalem. What happened is suddenly, and like about 8-9 months later, and I came, after 8-9 months I came to India, and I drove for 30 kilometers in India on the highway, on the single lane highway, that in the night. Actually my grandparents wanted me to take them to a nearby temple, which is like 20 kilometers away. It was already late, it was like 6 p.m. So like sunset. But they were worried. I said, no, I know, I only drove in Saudi and all. I wanted to drive the car, so I was like, no, I know to drive, it's easier. So I took them. And when I was returning back, it was like, see, this is my second drive. I thought to drive in the street, in an Indian road, in a single way, in a single highway,
with
on 6 p.m.
lights.
And all that. It was actually kind of tough, but I don't know how did I drive. I drove back home from the temple and everything, finished. My dad called. I didn't pick up because I was driving that time. So I had to give it to my grandma. I said, no, don't say anything. She's like, your son is driving. Oh God, mad. He's calling my grandparents. Like, how can you be so silly? Just allowing him to drive. He's just what, 13 years old. How can you allow him? The two on the single lane highway. Then later he came. I said, I do need a license and everything. As we know, we have the student license in Saudi, right?
Yeah, but that thing I never realized till I actually went to Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was 11, 12, I really wanted a license because farewell, everyone used to take out rental cars.
True.
And we used to take one of this. Sometimes when you get lucky, you get a Corvette and stuff. And Hummer was like the craze at that time, the Hummer H2. I really wanted to get one. I even remember sitting down with Dad. I was like, Dad, listen, it's farewell. Can I please get a rental car? The dad was like, you don't have a license. I didn't know there was student license.
There's always a student license. Which is like, at the age of 16 you can get it. But you should drive only an automatic, not a manual car. So I got the license. When I got, I was happy. Of course, I took the license. I was driving a manual car because I already had Camry. So and I was enjoying. That was the time. Yeah.
And driving in Jeddah is a pleasure.
It's fun. Especially on the Thalia Street.
Oh yes. That was like 2005, 2004, 2004 to 2007, 8. That time when Tahliya Street was like, I think it still
under
is.
construction. It was under construction at the time, right? I mean, the subway is now under construction. So it's like messed up.
Is there?
There's a lot of subway now. At least, not now. I went like the last time I went in 2012. They have constructed a lot of subway.
Oh, you mean the road that goes under?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought actual subway.
No.
I was like, wait a second. I left there in 2015. I didn't see any goddamn subway there. Because I thought subway like the train subway.
No.
Ah, okay. So you're talking about the underroad passengers. Ah, okay. So you call them subway?
We just call it subway. What do you call it? Share?
I also. I just like, bro, it'll go under the bridge. You'll come out to the other side, take a ride from
just
there.
a bridge, just like not the bridge, but the underground.
It's underground. Yeah. Can't even call it a tunnel. I don't know what do you call it though.
I guess the subway, right? Is it a subway?
I have no clue. I have to Google that stuff and see what we actually call it. As much as we think we know English, we don't know English. Talking about licensing stories, in Dubai I drove for a year without license.
Without license.
Yeah. A lot of my friends were like, dude, this is not right. I was like, man, screw you. I had the car. I had the same Lancer, by the way. So
how come did your dad allow you to take a Lancer to there without any
no, it was there already in Dubai because my dad had a company in Dubai. So the Lancer was part of the company car. So it was not registered in my name nor my dad's name. It was the company name. So I used to keep the car with me. So I had I was an employee who was driving it before, and then after he left, I kind of liked it. I can't use the bus all the time, I lived quite far from the city, international city. So I was close to my university. Close in the sense like you still have to travel like 15 kilometers to go to university. That place is like all built out of highways only. Every road you hit, you're going above 80 kilometers per hour. So I was like, I can't do this bus thing, I need a car. So I got the car and I started driving it around almost for a year before I got my license. And I got stopped by cops thrice. And I used to just give them an excuse like I forgot my license. And they used to give me a fine for forgetting my license. And then there was one funny story though where once that weird feeling you get when there's going to be a checking. And you just kind of ignore it. And then when you see the police license, you're like, oh, why did I take this road? I should have just gone the other road. That weird feeling you get inside. So I stepped into this other backside entrance of IC, went in there. There was a checking. The guy asked me for license, and I go like, I don't have one. But I just came here to fuel my car, because I literally did. I came there to fuel the car. Should I just enter the residential area from there? That's like a compound area, but I came from the other side. So he told me, park the car here and walk home. If you move this car, I'll put you in along with this car and come in impound. I was like, okay, so I walked home. Didn't sleep the whole night. Woke up early 6 o'clock, took a cab where the car was, looked around where the cop was. He wasn't there. He said he's there till morning 6 o'clock on duty, so don't move the car till 6 o'clock. And I took the car, went back on. But the most funniest incident I ever had was with the driving instructor. So he came below my building and he was like, yeah, where are you? I'm here below your building. I'm like, hold on, I'm coming. I came in my car, stopped and got off and got into his car to learn how to drive. And I was blown off. It's like, you have license? It's like, I don't have. How are you driving? I'm like, I'm from Saudi. It's like, okay. It's like synonymous with Saudi. These boys, they always do this. So, let's go back to the topic of drifting. So when you got your student's license is when you started power sliding your car around?
No, even before that actually. After that, that's when I said, before my license I did this.
So before your license you started power
And
sliding?
I did that. Then I realized that it shouldn't have happened.
Which with the Saudi style? Pull the handbrake?
Yeah, pull the handbrake. I just show the Saudi style. Arab means just stay narrow.
Yeah.
Arab style.
I never did that actually. How does that feel?
And like, it feels smooth. What else can I say? It feels good.
So the maximum I've done is just like power slide the car because of power.
You know what?
Huh?
Yeah, the second time I did it, I think I did like 2-3 times before I got my license. Once I did after my license, yeah, sure, yeah. I did near the Azizia Mosque.
The 1 year girls
Danube,
section.
Danube.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the Danube, right? The Danube
Yeah.
supermarket. There's a mosque on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Actually inside. I did there. I don't know how. One of my relative saw it. He came in. He told in front of everyone, "Your son does a good drifting." My dad was like, "When did you do this?"
Oh my god.
He's like, "Your son does a good drifting. He's very good at drifting." I was like, no, I didn't even do anything. I just came, I just took like what, a 60-degree, whatever we can call it. I was planning to do a 360, but it didn't end up 360, I just like maximum 120 or something, that's it.
So what speed you hit before you pulled the handbrake?
I think it was 100 or something, 80, 90 on that road.
You actually went 80, 90 pull that?
On that road.
Dude, I don't know how people pull handbrakes at that speed, dude. I just can't, like...
Because his camera is very good, that's the thing, again. Because the camera.
Yeah, everyone used to for pulling the handbrake over there with that vehicle. It's a good old days though. Have you ever been to a place in Jeddah where they keep doing this drifting thing?
No, I haven't. I always wanted to get into a drifting academy just to have a professional certificate, but I haven't done it. But it's always there on my bucket list.
So it's there to do it.
Yeah.
In Dubai they have like drifting sessions and stuff. One interesting part about that drifting session is, they keep grips only on the front two wheel. and they leave it's like completely flattened. There's no the grip lines on it. They completely, you can just hear it going like a plastic bag on a road. Zzz, and they keep teaching you how to do that. They're doing this pretty cool thing now, what they do.
There's one in Riyadh called Mahara Drifting Academy, which is very good. Very famous.
Heard about it, yeah.
Mahara.
So again, your racing career starts off in Jeddah itself.
Yeah. So that's when I got into cars and I had that, that liking to something unique it was towards cars at that time. Apparently, to be honest, I had a much more liking towards biking.
Yeah, I remember that.
I always had that.
Yeah.
I used to have a lot of bike. I mean, all those, Wellington Rosies, photos and everything, and all those. What do you call this? The ones that comes in the, your magazines, right? What do you call that?
Auto magazine.
Yeah, the auto magazine.
The auto magazine pictures. We used to cut
pictures.
that off.
Cut that off and post it up. So I had all those things. Especially bikes. I like bikes. But then I felt more comfortable in car than bike. It's tough for me to learn a bike.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And apparently I was taught how to ride a bike. But rather I just learned myself how to drive a car.
Oh, okay.
So I was even more comfortable in car rather than a bike.
Mm.
That's when I had even more liking towards car. And still I love bikes. I always wanted, my aim is to just get on a super bike.
You haven't got on a super bike yet?
No, I've tried it.
Okay.
Of course, but I just
like
want to get
on
one.
races or on tracks? Have you?
No, just a small
Okay.
long drive. That's it. I've just done that. I just want to own one super bike, which my parents are like, no. I have a 150cc bike. Even for that, they're like, no, because
150cc.
They're like, it's not much safety. Like for them, two wheels is not at all safety. So.
Oh yeah, I understand where they come from.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, my dad loves bikes. My mom loves bikes more than anything. She was like, just come out, go sit in the back. I'm like, no, get off the bike. Because they always kept asking me to ride them around everywhere. Back in Tanjore, because we have a bike. I have an old Yamaha G5. Back in 2010, I bought it. So it's still kept in a pristine condition, Like I don't want to tinker around with it. I just take care of it. And it's like, I know it's slow as hell, by the way. And you go at 80 itself, is like, oh, you're flying on 80 with that bike, So thankfully you're flying. So, you were into bikes at that time?
I mean, of course, I had a liking towards it, but then even that time, I rode a bike. So, but then, because in Saudi it's directly a super bike or
directly super bike.
It's directly super bike. There's no
600cc and above. That's it.
It's just minimum 600 at the time. Now that's the ulta. You see Saudi. In India is like 100, 200. Now 1000 have come. There's like 1000 first, and then now you can find 100, 200cc.
Yeah.
So since it was direct super bike, so I never got a chance to ride it. So
it used to be beauty seeing them on roads.
You can get the rental bikes. I always go to the shop.
Yeah.
And ask him as I'm going to take it tomorrow itself. He got fed up of me.
The one on Tahlir Road.
Yeah, Tahlir.
Only once or twice I've been over there. I just asked them around. But I remember when we went to Honda showroom. And we went to Yamaha showroom near that other Arbain Street or something like that.
Medina Street.
Yeah. Medina Street, we went, checked out the cars, and Honda we checked out.
Honda is in Medina Street only.
Yeah, Yamaha we checked in Palestine Street.
Palestine Street.
Yeah, we checked out. For me, I've always loved these Harleys and the choppers and the laid back cruiser types. That's my.
Yeah,
you have a Harley,
no? That's my friend's.
Oh, okay.
I just said no. For me, getting a silver bike or high performance bike is too tough.
Oh, it's too hard at home.
Like they prefer not to have bike because of the safety. Just only the safety.
I understand. You can't actually. Even if you drive properly.
Yeah.
Because we brought up in a driving situation that's completely different, and we are super safe. Even on my bike, when I get onto it, I wear a jacket, I wear shoes, I wear gloves. I wear a proper helmet and glasses so that sand doesn't go in. And I follow rules like a mad guy on the road. And other people are just like, what are you doing? right? Left, right. I'll just literally stop there at like a stop sign and I'll look left, right. I'm on a bike. Okay, I'm not in a car. Anyone hits me, I'm up fly. So that's not gonna happen with me. So I was just like, it's even if you're driving properly, other people are gonna mess up with your driver. That is it. It's scary though to get a 600cc.
Oh yeah, right?
Yeah.
But now it's fine. It's fine.
I have another friend, Rakesh. He has a 300cc Kawasaki.
Oh.
I got on his bike a couple of days ago in the back. I was literally crying. I was like, don't drive this fast, bro. In between these cars, just don't. No helmet, no nothing. I'm holding his bike. You know, I'm like, bro, please slow down. What are you doing? So you got into karting also?
Yeah. So when I figured out that I was more comfortable in cars, 4 wheels. Later, that's when even this intenso karting arena opened.
Yeah, I've been a couple of kartings on that. Yeah.
That's when they even opened it, and I was like, wow, this is the place I should go. I used to go there. Whenever I used to go, I used to be as a spectator, because my dad was like, it was actually costly that time.
Yeah, it was.
It was very costly that time.
Yeah.
It was like 100 riyals.
Yeah.
for a 5 minutes or 10 minutes drive, 100 riyals it was. So my dad was like, I'm not going to spend 100 riyals on the remote car. I'm like, that's not a remote car. It's a bloody. It's a 4-stroke car. He's like, no, that's a remote. I was like, come, I'll show you. I was like, see, he's putting oil. He's putting petrol out there. You see, you can see that. He's like, okay, next time. The first thing he says is, okay, next time.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fine. So each time I went like that, he was like, next time. Then I was like, at once he's like, I'm very crazy about. Then my birthday came. He's like, what do you want a birthday? Like, I need that ride out there. He's like, okay, fine, come. That's when I drove it for the first time. I was so happy.
You drift around that track, dude.
It's
A cement track, no? It is.
no,
Yeah.
it's a proper tarmac.
Was it tarmac?
It's a proper tarmac.
Because I remember driving there, and I remember every turn I was sliding.
The road is so good. I mean, it's so nice. The tarmac is so good. Yeah, it's actually a pure tarmac. It's not a cement. It's a pure tarmac.
I have got myself.
I'll tell you why. Because they relayed when I was there once. They took a once they relaying, and they took about a month.
Oh, they remade the whole thing.
Yeah,
The track.
The track.
So okay, so initially when they did, I think it was cement.
Initially,
Yeah.
But the time when I saw it was like
Proper thing.
proper.
Because I remember I did that once. My brother did that along with me. He crashed in the first turn, and they couldn't even get his car out of their tires at that time.
Oh, okay.
So I remember at that time it was skidding. Yeah.
So then, I started with that, and as usual, like it wasn't very frequent or something. It's like once in 3-4 months or 5 months once. I used to, save money.
So card.
Yeah, save money and go play. I got a membership card, so I used to get 20 years off
Yeah.
to buy the membership card. So I guess to save money. Whenever I save money, just go there, drive for like once in 6 months or 5 months of that. Then when I was doing that continuously, once what happened? There was a cup, okay, a challenge cup. Toyota Panasonic Challenge Cup or something. That was the cup, I guess. 4-stroke championship cup. And I saw that since I go only once in a while, I randomly went. It was happening. They said that the previous time I went. They said to do fastest time. They said top 10 will be racing. Imagine I went today. Then the coming week, the following week is the finals. So top 10. So top 10 qualifiers. So when I went, I qualified. I gave my timings and I qualified. I did, and I was like overall 12th. Overall 12th in the entire list of the people.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Overall 12th. I didn't know how I do. I still remember. I mean, like then
They
because
give you one lap to qualify, or
no. It was like a 5 minute or 5 minutes. The proper session.
Proper session. Okay.
Just need to give one best lap time.
Yeah. Okay.
and that they will take it up and for the finals, for the final entry list. So top 10 is only possible to entry, and then after that it's fine. So when I got it, they were like, "I was here twice." I'm like, "Fuck it." I'm like, happy. I was happy. I was like, "Oh, 12th."
Based on the Saudi kids who come there, yeah, do it.
I think I was 12th. Right?
Yeah, that's good.
Then I asked him when is the finals. He's like, next week, sir. Come and at least you can be a spectator. I was like, okay, fine, I'll come. No, it's like 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, and I told my dad, within 2 weeks, the finals need to go somehow. Till the last minute, because we actually had some other plan on that finals day. Till the last minute, I was fighting in the past, like just for the half an hour we'll go, we'll just see and we'll leave. So we had to go to someone's relative's house or something. So I was like, just tell them that we'll be late by half an hour, late by half an hour, late by half an hour. Then finally somehow I started crying and I cried so badly. I was like, no, some more need to go because they were refusing so badly. It was all pre-planned because we were. I think my brother was leaving. My brother came for a short trip. He was in India. He came for a short trip to Saudi. So he was like, I think in a couple of days he was going to leave. So we had to go for shopping and then we had to go to a relative's house and everything. And finally they accepted and they took me. To my luck and to my surprising, it was like the 9th and 10th person did not turn up for the day. I mean the top 10 guys who were selected, the 9th and 10th did not turn up for the day. So the 11th, 12th were asked to get it.
Oh yeah.
So again, it was not the actual 11th guy who got into as a 9th person guy. It was someone else who got it. And since I was the 12th, he's like, you join. So the organizer was like, you join. I'm like, oh, thank you. Then I came up, I was like, Dad, they asked me to drive. What drive? He's like, I'm not paying. That's not for paying, it's for free.
I know that feeling when you. When parents go like, what drive? I'm not paying.
I'm not paying. I'm like, no, it's for free, I'm selected. Oh, wow, okay, go. Then they're really happy. And you all come and watch. That's a spectator area.
Yeah.
You have that good thing.
Yeah.
Spectator area is very good.
I remember that, yeah.
And some proper stand, VIP stand. And they were there, I went down. They asked me to get in. They asked me to suit up. What? I didn't bring anything. They're like, no, the ones. You remember they always have the existing suits, no?
Yes. Yeah.
And then they asked me to suit up. I thought, okay, fine. Super will be. I went insane. I was an idea like there'll be I went to that existing suit, that the pure red, no? The plain red. I mean, just plain red. No any there's no any fonts or anything, right?
Yeah.
There was like not this one. I turned. There's like all this Panasonic, Toyota, all this ones are like proper one.
Proper
I was like,
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
this is one. Oh yeah, thank you. I was like holding or seeing it nicely, but I was admiring for 2-3 minutes. They're like, hurry up, there's no time. And I worked, and they gave a debrief, like what has to be done and everything. I'm like, okay, fine. After the briefing, that's when this is all Saudis. I'm the only Indian. All Saudis, okay, I'm the only Indian. And I didn't understand how, like 90% of the thing that the guy was announcing because it was full in Arabic. I was like, he asked me, you understand? I was like, nah. Nah. I was like, no.
All I know is there, the track is there. Khalas. Don't ask me any questions after this.
I was like, thank you for the suit and help. I'm very happy. Then there was one guy, he got up, Saudi guy, he took his effort, got up, he exclaimed in English. He came to me. No, he didn't say no. That time was like, okay, Kalas, go. It was no time I went. Your qualifying starts, my qualifying starts. My family is very happy. My brother and my mother and everyone's like, oh my god. They're like very happy. I'm driving. 10 minutes qualifying. I was like, last. No, time sheets, no? Last lap. I was like, I came 5th position.
Nice.
Oh, last lap.
Definitely didn't break in the last lap.
Last lap, I was like 5th. I didn't have a hope. I was like, because 9 laps, I mean, like, last, because I could see the time sheet was last. Last lap, I didn't see the time sheet. I just came, I just parked the car and I came out. A little bit tense. I came. When I just walked out, my brother ran and came. He's like, Rakesh, you're last every time. I know why you're coming and saying the same thing. No, you came last. The last time you came fifth. Oh, this is nice. You should have said this first. No, he's coming to me. He's like, Rakesh, you were last in every lab, but the last lab you were first, fifth. I'm like, good. Fifth, like, I was happy. I was like shocked. I was like, fifth? Are you sure? So like, yes, let's go. We had this 10-minute break. In the 10 minutes, there was a briefing. That's when the Saudi student, the guys, they were like, you're fifth? I was like, yes. Then one guy came, he started explaining me, like, don't be very chill, just be aggressive. We'll also be aggressive, you also be aggressive. Sport. Just give me, I was like, are you an Arab guy? I was like, I pretty much no Arab guy talks like this. He was so kind, he was helping me out. He was like, is the first time? I was like, yes, the first time. And I was like, okay, I'll help you out. He was giving some tips. I was like, Arab guys do exist like this. I was like,
yeah, it's very rare gems actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
So surprised to see an Arab guy to give me some tips and all.
Yeah.
And then we went, the fifth position I started. Within some turn 3, I was in third. And I was in third position.
So when you started off, they place you in according to grid lines, right? Yeah.
That's how you do the qualifying.
Yeah.
Best lap.
Because my memory of Intenso is very, very vivid. It's been there back in 2006 or 7 or something like that. And that time they didn't have this grid thing.
Okay.
They had that pit lane thing.
Where
you go out.
Oh, I think when I went, it's changed a lot. That's where I went to the proper tarmac. Maybe when you went, it was not.
It wasn't tarmac. You were power sliding everywhere.
So, started fifth, and in a couple of turns I was third, and I was maintaining third for a long while. Actually, it was a 10-lap race. Currently in the 7th lap or 6th or 7th lap, there was one guy on the side. I lost my focus and I hit the other guy, and we both spun.
Okay.
So we went last. We both of them went last. It was my mistake.
Yeah.
I did a misjudgment and I hit him and just spun. And then again I started 10th because everyone left. Everyone just bounced. They left. And I started 10th, and exactly when the race finished, I finished 7th.
Not bad, dude.
I finished 7th.
Not bad.
And when I came up, then as usual the podium finish and all was there, the program everything got over, and I went and I just took off my suits and everything, and I went back. My parents were very happy. They were like, then they understood that I had a true passion for, because I kept on asking them for racing and all that. And then they understood that I had a true passion for it. And then that's when this again took a while, couple of months to make them understand that that I really need to get into professional racing and everything. So then I left India. That's for 11th grade. This happened this happened in 2012 for me. This thing. Meanwhile, whenever in this 11th and 12th, when I was studying 11th, 12th, I used to come India once for visa renewal, right? Then I used to drive. So when I finished my 12th, this happened. So now I'm coming to Chennai to get settled for my college, right? Then June I came and joined. By next 3 months, that day, so when I finished that night I was sitting in Google, I was typing Racing Academy India. I was just surfing. I didn't find anyone, because even though you're surfing in India, you're typing the word India, it still shows you the Arab countries surrounded.
Yeah.
I didn't find anything in India. I was like, what? There's no racing school in India or what? So I was like, okay, fine. Nothing is in India. And I came to India, then slowly, somehow, something triggered me, and I started searching it a lot. And I really stopped. I had no hope that time. My dad told me I was about to join my college, but until then I didn't have a hope that I'll be getting ready.
There's a couple of months where you were like free.
It was just 4 months. No, just a free time. This is all this happening. All this is happening in the 4 months. I'm not able to get a racing school in I'm not able to. And I was trying to search through Google, but I couldn't get them. And I was like, okay, fine, I lost hope then. I was about to join the college, but I was like, that's when I got this deal, that either you take engineering, then you get this racing. And I got the deal, then I joined the college. I was like, I'm not joining this college. He's like, where is the racing? Okay, I think that I'll find somehow, but you say this deal is okay. And I got the deal from my dad like that. Then, he thought, okay, this is never going to happen. He accepted the deal.
Oh, they don't know how devils we are, bro.
Then I got to college, and one Friday what happened is I was having a dinner, and there was a show in one of the news channels, I think NDTV or CNBC something, where Nayan Karthikeyan had
F1.
he was there on the show, live show. Basically, anyone can.
Was this the time when he was in the F1?
No, he was in F1.
Oh, okay.
He was in F1 2004.
Oh man, not that late.
No,
2012 he was there in F1.
Oh, yeah, 2012 he was in F1.
Yeah.
That was it. Sorry, yeah.
He was racing for...
Sorry,
who was he racing for?
No, that's when he returned back. Yeah, HRT.
He was racing for HRT.
That's when he returned back in between. Because in between he wasn't there. In between years he wasn't there. He got back into F1 because F1 started in India. That's the first race in India.
Yeah, the one in Noida, right? Yeah.
Now I know, sorry, I just made a mistake. So there was like a pre-event show or something in one of the news channels, okay, as a live show. And I was very happy. I was like, oh my god, I was having a dinner, like, no, I stopped. I called him. You can call to the show.
Oh, okay.
I called and spoke to him.
Damn.
He was like, then I asked him, what should I do, how can I do, and all that. And he just mentioned that there's like a lot of schools happening. I mean, the academy takes place in Coimbatore, but then they have the offices in Chennai. I think just type it and see. He gave us a few names, and I was like, oh, thank you, and then I searched, I got it. I was like, thank you so much. And I got it. I showed my dad. These are the fees and everything structure. Because for 2 days training program, for level 1 2 days training program, it cost me 45k. I told 45k, just like blunt. Like, oh, 45k. How many days? 2 days. 2 days. I like, no. He's like, no. He said, you only promised me you have to get into racing, right? Then
Is that the level 1 license, right?
No, just a level 1 training program.
Oh.
And I like 45k. Then I spoke to my brother spoke on behalf of me, like, you see, you promised him you have to do that, all this, knowing this. Then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. He's like, okay, do what do you need to do. Next 1 year, no matter whatever the cost is, I'll bear it. For anything. So that's when I got a training program, I finished my level 1, level 2, level 60, 1 lakh, this is it, man. 4 days, hardly 4 days training program. And then, and I joined Miko Motorsport Academy.
Miko's Motorsports Academy.
Miko Motorsport Academy.
So what do they teach you in those academies? The first level 1 and level 2?
So, level 1 is all about your steering inputs, your braking inputs, and your race linings. Okay. The same is going in level 2, but in a more precision level, like you start, they help you pushing, and they see you in a one-on-one session. Just a more, what you call
Pressure situation?
Yeah, and more, how better can I put it? Like, this is like a very common way, just teaching, like, just saying it the rules, but then to put it into a lot of permutation combinations and all that, you have to use your mind, brains, like how and all that thing, then it comes in level 2. The same braking, how it can be done, how can be interchanged on that, depending on that particular turn and everything.
So what cars were you driving during
it's
those?
called like FL 1300, Formula 1300.
The single seaters?
Single seaters.
Oh, okay.
But no, I started with the Volkswagen training program only. And the Volkswagen Polo cars.
So these training school that you went to, that was straight away into Volkswagen?
No, they had a tie-up. That's when, see, what happened is, Miko had a tie-up with the Volkswagen training, for the selection for the Volkswagen program. I mean, for the selection for the Volkswagen Racing Championship. So these people had a tie-up for the training program. So I joined that. I got the training program, and then I went to the selection program. I got selected, and I raced. For that 2013 I raced. That was my first race, proper professional racing.
2013.
This all happened within 2012 to 13.
And you were in your first year at college?
Yes. And I want to thank my dad. He took care of me the entire year. It was a bomb spending one more year. And
No good, yeah. I finished like 6th in the rookie championship and the novice championship, and then overall I finished 12th out of 22 drivers. 20 this 20, yeah.
So, when you went into Volkswagen Polo racing, how, like, see how we look at. I like racing. I watch a lot of F1. Like, I understand F1 is not actually about. It's all about strategic game. Like how you hit your times, and then how quick are you ahead of the other player to hit the pit lane, and the timings that you get out of the pit lane, and what lap you're going in, what lap you're coming out. These are small, minute, knowledges you pick up from this commentary that runs in. And I see F1. I watch F1 as much as I could live. Like every month, 2 races or something like that, I watch it. And I'm a huge Lewis Hamilton fan. Like, I love that guy. The amount of stuff that he does on the track is like next level, dude. But so this is what always interested me. In Dubai, I was heavily involved in karting too. So I did a lot of indoor and outdoor karting. But I worked with that 24-hour race in Dubai. As I was a marshal for the pit lane, and I had like 4 garages with me. So most of the time, I'm always noticing when they come in, there are only 3 people allowed to work on the car. The driver gets in, driver gets out. The race engineer comes in. All that stuff happens. I have to keep an eye out, like what's the timing they're taking it, and how many people are involved with the car. I have to report them. I have to check the speed that comes in and everything. But when you see these races on TV, it's kind of different. But when you're in there in that garage environment, it is not just racing anymore, is it?
Yeah. When it's to that level, like F1 or the World Endurance Racing, right? Championship, it's very complex. And that's why F1 is always considered, and F1 is a very complex business and sport.
Yeah.
It's not just a sport, it is a complex business and sport.
True.
Both put into one room and given it like this is it. No? It's like it's exactly like everyone gets the equal share for the result that might come in positive or negative. Everyone gets their share in that point. It's not like you can't pinpoint just one person out there.
Yeah, it's a whole.
It's like, I mean, you can at some point, but then it's always a teamwork. It's full of teamwork out there. So when you see, as you said, when you see it just from TV, it's all about just people thinking that the driver comes, sits, drives, and goes back and all that. But behind the scenes are very,
because the driver is not the important person anymore in racing.
It's like, what is it? I mean, sorry, I'm saying, but then it's a very complex scenario that takes place because first of all, the logistics that has to come. There's a lot of branches. This is a very huge. What do you call it? Our explanations process, like where F1 is like for a team. In any ways, there might be a problem. One is the logistics. One is the food. So and the labours and everything. Everyone are part of the same team. There's no question of freelancing or some shit. I think because small mistake will result to a massive explosion to a team result for that one weekend. There are many teams who has performed very good in the practice session, qualifying, race 1 and everything. The race last minute there will be a last minute. At least an engine problem or something. All the effort has gone. I spent like some millions
like Haas on last Australia when they were like new team leading up, the grill, what do you call that, the bracket, is that called the bracket where they put the
the wheel,
the wheel cap? When they messed up and both the drivers had to go out of this.
But is it the Australian Grand Prix or the?
I think it was Melbourne Grand Prix, the first race when both the cars of Haas had to go out. Yeah, it was the first race. Because
both the cars were.
Who was that? Roman Grosjean and.
They initially thought that just the rim, it's just the nut.
The nut.
Later they realized it's just the wheel gun itself is the problem.
Yeah, the wheel gun itself.
So that second was. It's like, and all the effort that I've put goes back to Wayne with that small one mistake.
So when you were in polo, they start training you at that time itself how to get into that kind of racing where driving is not only the main thing but understanding.
As a driver's role, we have two things. One is that you need to, feel the car. That's right. So as a driver, we have two roles. One is that to feel the car.
Like
next
Niki
thing is to
Lauda
go
with
and
his
explain the
ass.
car. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Next thing, just go and explain the same shit. But because feeling, you might feel one thing, but in another thing you will say something else. You should make sure that both are same. Many people change it. I mean, because one word you change, you might think, okay, this is the best synonym for this, but then because of that synonym, the engineer might take it in a different thing and it might change something else. That's happened. That's happened. So it's actually hard. Of course, they do explain you that in the training program how to do it, but then it's quite hard to grasp it just like that once itself. You need a lot of experience. That's why you need to race like a lot of races so that you have that you get that experience. Even for that good connection between you and the race engineer, every team will have their own race engineer.
Okay.
So to get that connection, it's not that you will get connected to the race engineer the first time itself. To have that smooth communication, and how to have the communication itself is all depends on your experience and the number of races you do. It's not like the first race. See, today you got the training program. Tomorrow you go to race. You do your first race. You're like, I can communicate with him 100%. No, it's not happen.
Not gonna happen. Yeah.
It's not happen. Maybe he can do with the same engineering say we can only do it in the 100th, some 20th race or something. Maybe I'm just saying to give that 100% communication. No, it's too tough initially. Initially it's very tough. It all depends on. I suffer a lot to give feedbacks initially. Just tough initially. That's it. Like because how do you say? For an example, you imagine you do one lap.
Yeah.
You do one lap. So I have to tell them, like, imagine if it's turn 1, and for sure there might be like, okay, take any other one of the track. Say you have like 15 turns in one of the track. You say, I have to go back to the engineer. I have to say what's happening each and every turn. What's happening? How is the car behaving on the straights? How is the car behaving on each turn? And each turn is not going to be the same because they have the different elevation and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, the road is not, the entire track is not the same. It has its own elevation and that thing. So in that turn, I have to split into 3. I have to say that how is the car when it was entering the corner, how is the car handling when it is in mid corner, what is happening on the exit of the corner. So you got to split it up into more 3.
So you remember all this information?
Yeah, but so and that because this all happens like just for you, so just got it. So, but that's why I think you won't communicate with the race engineer or with any of your mechanics at the first moment itself. It's too hard to do it. Maybe if you have more experience, right? It doesn't matter if you even change your mechanics. You can talk to them because you know what to talk to them and everything. But as you asked me, just because you did my training program, you will be able. Of course, they train you to explain how they train you how to explain your mechanics and everything. But still, you should know that okay, this is what is called. I mean, you should know. For example, you're going turn 1, your car is like kind of tailing out, like okay. It's tailing out. And at the same time you might feel some some vibrations and something. Okay. You may like I'm feeling, but you should not come and say that you're feeling vibrations because of the tailing. Or might be at that point on the road something might be there, or it is actually because of that tailing or some vibrations, something like that. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
So if you say a mismatch, you might come and change, which is already good, you might make it even more worse.
That is true. So you do a couple of more rounds with the same kind of scenario and try to do the same kind of time and figure out what is the things that you need to change.
So for a good team, right? For a good team, 50% a driver has, like, for a team to win,
it's all between the driver and the race engineer. That's why the communication, the relationship between the driver and the race engineer is a big thing. You should have a good relationship with him.
That
Both
is
of them
true.
should have a good relationship because first of all, both of them need to get to go together any time.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have any fireworks at any time because then they won't.
Yeah, it's not.
You
It's
shouldn't
like
feel anything superior to anyone. You should
it's
not be
like
superior to anyone.
telepathic communication
Yeah.
you should have when you
Yeah.
just come in and you're
See?
trying to explain him something and he should be like, oh, I got you.
That's a
I
major
understand,
relationship in between the racing team, that a race engineer between a race engineer and driver. That's a very big thing.
So when you find that particular kind of race engineer, do you take him along with all the other races that you go through, or
Then each team has got their own. I mean, see, to be honest, now in the national series that we do, we don't have something called a race engineer for us or something, because we're not that much well equipped to have a race engineer or something. But we just pick direct to a mechanics, a direct mechanic.
okay, so it's like
The first mechanic.
So
We just talk to a first mechanic.
alright. But sometimes the magic just happens when you connect with that person
Yeah.
in a very
If a national racing doesn't happen like. Again, there's this Formula 1300 doesn't has a race engineer type, it's just a mechanic. But a Formula 1600 is a proper single seater racing. It's the entry level for the proper that has. But he has one for all. There's one race engineer for the entire 16 people group because it's a one make series.
okay.
The Formula 1600 is a one make series, whereas the Formula 1300 are team based.
So how does that help with one engineer for all 16
And
people?
even the same cars, right? All this is just to see. Now I'll explain what is a one-wing championship and what is a
Yeah.
normal thing. The normal thing, of course, you have teams, and
you can tune in to really just to get the maximum. They'll give a minimum and the maximum power that you can do and whatever changes you can do. Within that you can do whatever you want. So that happens a team. But in a one-make championship, you know what is a normal thing, so I don't want to explain like Formula 1.
Yeah. That
One make championship like Volkswagen Polo or the Formula 1600, it's all that.
is it developmental races?
Imagine, okay, I'll take it as Volkswagen itself.
Okay.
So better understanding. Imagine all 20 cars of Polo.
Yeah.
It's the same engine,
Yeah.
same engine, powertrain, everything is going to be same. So where it changes is it's a pure driver skill, and then the driver's setup in the sense we set up the tire pressure. We should know the tire pressure, what to set up, and what anti-roll bar you want to give, and what suspension setting you want to go for. It's only 3 or 4 maximum 4 things that you can
And
actually
brake
change.
ratios.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all is fixed for same. So this is where you improve your driver skill.
Okay.
So mostly everyone will do a one-make championship or two just to make sure they increase, and then they go for the individual team so that it's easier to communicate and everything.
Okay, so in these one make, so what's that called?
One-make championship.
One make championship.
One-make series or one-make championship. With all the cars will be the same.
One make.
One.
Make like the car make.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like one make. What make is this?
One make.
Yeah. So people who do these races in one make, do they like other teams watch these people and they figure out what drivers they want and they recruit them into their team?
Something like see, this, okay, in motorsport, I'll tell you something. 95%, there's something called, there are two concepts. One is paid driver and paying driver.
Okay.
Paying, okay? So the paid driver means the team pays for him.
Yeah.
Like just like how when football,
Yeah.
they pay you and they hire Ronaldo or something like that. Just like that. But that's only 5% in the entire world. Like the concept of paid drivers is very less.
Is it?
Yeah, it's always paying drivers. If the drivers pay and get into the team. So now you might ask, how do they make money? They make money, either they'll be rich enough to spend money like that, just like that.
Either they'll be rich enough to spend money just like that, or else they get sponsors. That's where they get something called sponsors pay. The sponsors pays them on their behalf, and they make money out of it. Endorsements. That's how they make money. Right?
So drivers make money through endorsements,
Endorsements.
and they get the sponsors to pay for this so they can get into racing. So, but even to climb up the steps, you still have to be.
See, even in Formula One, there are 10 teams now.
Yeah.
That in those 10 teams, hardly 5 teams
Pay their drivers.
Pay the drivers.
Mercedes pays their drivers.
Yeah.
That we know. Yeah.
Because they have so much money.
Money to
They
pay.
pay because to run a team itself is like some $100 million or something. Like
Yeah. But drivers like Sergio Perez and
they all get the sponsors.
Lando Norris' dad is a part of that Racing Point right now, which they removed it from Force India.
Lando Norris is in McLaren. So for him, I can see McLaren. Lando Norris is in McLaren. That is
Stroll?
Lance Stroll.
Lance Stroll,
Lance
yeah.
Stroll.
Lance Stroll's dad has a part.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's F1, what do you call economics. But when it comes to here, because you're here, and you need to climb up the steps. So, how does the game work?
It's the same. You just need to pay.
And they provide the cars, they provide the engineers, they provide everything.
What is they paying that? The payment is for the track charge, for your car mechanics, the equipment that you need, and everything. Operation cost. It's a purely operation cost.
Okay.
Many people think that it's not that only motorsport has this concept. It's there in every sport. It's the same way. In every sport, it's the same. Especially any sport that comes when it comes in terms of single player, like
Could be, now that makes sense. Yeah.
TT and all that, no?
Single player makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, take badminton. You need to go play. Okay.
Yeah, like how you play tennis for ATP series and everything.
Yeah, it's all your
go
experience.
up to that level, you start points, you rack
At
up.
one point,
yeah.
maybe you might be a very good ranking person. Like for example, PV Sindhu. To my knowledge, she would have got sponsors until she won the silver medal in that Olympics.
Yeah.
She didn't have major sponsors. Maybe should have had some like minimum expenses. Like okay, maybe someone would have taken care of her. But then she never had a major sponsor until she won silver medal. Because she won a silver medal, now she has like a lot of sponsors. Like she's earning like 30 crores or something per year. She's settled. But until then, it's your own pocket money. To go to anywhere. If she has to go play in a Malaysian tour, she has to spend all her tickets, stay and everything. Just so you get the name that you're playing for the country. It's not that the country is sponsoring you.
It's not even playing for country. When it comes to, one thing I understand with single player in tennis is when they go play, say Australia Open or something, that's like ATP 500 or something like that. So there's the 500 points they get. So they go up the ranking. For racing, is there like driver rankings where you get points per every team?
It's actually like
every race. I mean.
Yeah, for every championship that you finish, whichever has an FAA application. Accreditation, right? Whichever has a FAA accreditation, you get points.
Okay.
You get points like for your license.
Yeah, for the FIA license, right?
You have C, B, A, super license and everything. To get a Formula 1 super license, you need to have a certain number of credit points, otherwise you can't enter. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You need to have a points. So it all depends on how much championship you have won below that and all that. It's there.
So, in India, there is a good opportunity for you to get those amount of points, or do you have to?
You have to get into European racing.
Oh, okay.
Because again, it's like in India, we only have one international series. One international series is considered an Indian motorsport, which is the which is the FMSI MRF Formula 2000, which is only MRF.
Okay.
Formula 2000, which is like it has a spec of F3 spec. Formula 3 spec.
Formula 3 spec. Why do they call it 2000?
It's a 2-liter engine. So
okay. Okay, that's how they name that. Okay, I always wondered why they called it that way.
It's a 2-liter engine.
Okay.
It's a Ford, I guess. I think it's a Ford. Yeah, I think it's a Ford or something. It's a 2000 liter. Sorry, 2-liter engine.
What's the horsepower in it?
2-liter. I think it should be. Then I should 200, 240. 180, easy 200
horsepower is a lot.
But it's a single seater, so the difference is a difference.
There's a torque difference too because it's lighter and everything. I don't know if I'm making sense.
You can turn much faster in a turn. You can go easily because it's single seater.
So, have you got into that yet?
No, that's my aim. Like, no, not that one. That's too costly. It's like you need to have money. Or you need to shell out like at least 50 lakhs per year.
Whoa!
That's like for 16 races, 50 lakhs. Because you drive in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Bahrain, India, and Qatar. I guess 4 countries.
So 4 countries covers 50 lakh.
Yeah.
So you pay for all the operations and everything, or do they have their own sponsors too for their team and they combine the money together?
No. You pay all this. So they might have their own sponsors, but then you pay this. This
Okay.
includes everything. It's like split up.
Okay, it's a split up.
Yeah, they might have.
Okay. So
It's up to you. If you have a sponsor, it's good. He pays you 50 lakhs.
So, when you go into that is when you start getting FIA points. But before you go into that FIA points, you're accumulating points from the other races.
You only get FIA points if the series or the championship is aggregated under FIA.
So you have done series and championships which are...
Me? No,
Yeah.
nothing is aggregated under FIA in India.
Ah, okay.
As I said, there's only one international series which happens, which is that too MRF, FMSA MRF 2000. I don't think they're FIA aggregated. No, they're not. Because if they are, they should have those halo. If any championship they have it's under FIA aggregated, they should
have the halo. Yeah, the halo right now.
Halo right now. They should
Yeah.
have. They're not. So
They don't have.
they don't have, so it's not.
So you have to leave this country.
So as of now, if you need to have FIA, if you need to get FIA license points, then you need to go to Europe.
That's the only way up to the F1, right?
Anyway, any drivers which goes there in India has to go to Europe to get their FIA credits.
And when we were talking, long time ago on the phone, and you had said that it feels like my time is going away in this. Because this is something weird though, because as you see into F1, those who are 16, 17 are getting into it. So they were racing in Formula 2 and Formula 3 when they were like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, it is.
That's
Because racing, usually people start at the age of 8, 9. Karting is the starting, it's the base. They start karting for about 3-4 years. That's how they do for 3-4 years karting continues. Because then you have junior, micro, junior, and senior level and everything. And then this is step into single seaters at the age of 14 to 15.
So where do you think you're going to go ahead of?
See, I took it as a passion. I never took it as a profession. So I'm happy that I've done so far. But I've been into profession. I've been to 3.5 years, and I've stopped it from 2016. So in a sense, I couldn't bag any sponsors up later. But I always have a bucket, in a bucket list to do a Formula 1600, which is the proper single seat racing. This is the highest highest national series which we have in India, which is always there in bucket list to do it. For sure, I'll do that once, at least once. For that's a passion.
And so far, you've been racing amongst a lot of other. Do you think there's like a good hope that maybe in a couple of years somebody would go back into F1 and be
From India?
Yeah.
We were hoping for one person, but then he has signed up for. He came to left too. He's called Arjun Maini. He's from Bangalore.
Wait,
Arjun
did
Maini.
he go into
F2 Formula 2?
Yeah, but
No.
it was. I'm confused because I think I read there was another driver in that Formula E. Who was an Indian.
Formula E? No, there was no one in India.
Okay. Okay, my bad then. Yeah, okay.
Maybe Karan Chandra was there. Yeah, Karan Chandra was there in Formula E, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he drove E. I forgot. I think he drove.
What do you think about Formula E?
It's just a next generation.
I don't want the world to go in that line, to be honest.
I'm not sure. It might be.
I mean, like be electric, let's keep it separate. Just we dropped from V8 to V6 now. Don't want to go back to V4 on a Formula 1 car, but
You should remember with the V6 they are able to produce 650 horsepower or something.
I don't know what's gonna happen. But so he signed up with Formula 2. You're saying? What's his name?
Last year he drove Formula 2,
Okay.
Maini. This year he signed up for World Endurance Racing.
World Endurance Races.
They shifted from single seater to car.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe again stuff. See, it's not like Formula 1 hardly. See, everyone should understand that Formula 1 is like in 1 year only 22 people can be there.
Yeah.
In
Plus
that
your
10 is
reserve
always
drivers,
retained.
yeah.
It's always retained. So only you have the space of next 10, and they're like more
But
than.
I think if you stick
lot of
more on
competition.
F2, unless and until you get into as a reserve driver or something,
That's too hard.
then you need to shift your angle somewhere else, right?
There are many people who have not got into Formula 1, even though they have performed good in other series. They have shifted. Or actually, I record is a development driver or a reserve driver in Formula 1. That's it.
That's a different world altogether, Formula One, and even what do you call endurance races? Because I had this personal experience. This is where you remember when Alfa Romeo entered along with Sauber in 2017. So 2017, I wanted to start a go-karting team in Dubai for endurance races. Yeah, because they had 4 races, which was 24 hours, 12 hours, 600 laps. 700 kilometers and 600 laps. 4 races in a year. And endurance, you obviously have like 5 drivers with you, and then you've got your. There was engineering was provided by them, so you just need someone who would work with tactics and stuff. And I approached Alfa Romeo that time, and I had good connections with them. And I told them, listen, go-karting in Dubai Autodrome is not a big thing. You get enough. It's basically a marketing for you, for people to buy your car. So you can get into this, and I can give you a lot more options. Like you can come, put your car there for showcase. During race days, I can make that happen for you and everything. And I still remember, they were like, oh no, we don't know. I'm like, you guys are there in F1. You guys are definitely going to step into F1 in a couple of years. I know this for sure. You guys, it's a right opportunity for you guys to market it over there. And I just wanted to have fun and go-karting, with my friends and everything. Is just get form a team, just mess around. And whereas you don't really care, it's about that whole experience of driving it. Because I used to go monthly once over there. For a while I stopped in middle, but before that we knew a guy there, so we would get the indoor track for like an hour, and we just keep power sliding, because that's still cement, by the way. It's not tarmac inside. Outside is tarmac. Just have fun driving around. So I wanted to do this. Coincidentally, this year Alfa Romeo is in F1, and I keep giving him shit every now and then. It's like, dude, I told you. You just always have to jump ahead of the curve. You could have done proper marketing. People would know you now. You got an F1. That's. I understand when you talk about getting sponsors. It's pain in the ass, by the way, because I deal with sponsors to get them for events and stuff. Okay, that I can work it out. In your place, it's kind of hard.
And motorsport, getting a sponsorship in motorsport in India is very tough.
Very tough, right?
And getting in Tamil Nadu, it's very tough, is because Tamil Nadu is a motorsport hub. So even it's like too hard to convince you, because everyone's already got it.
Oh, okay.
Someone or other has sponsored other person already, so it's too hard to convince.
It's too hard.
This is the motorsport hub of the country.
I think that's, in a way, that's kind of good, because there's a lot more people involved in motorsport. You have to change the face of everything that goes on here. What's next for Rakesh after this?
Actually, now since I'm doing MBA Media and Entertainment, so something into film industry or something.
Yeah.
I see hope.
Or what are you planning to do?
I'm
Like getting into production?
Yeah, line producer or something.
Yeah?
As a line producer for some movie. And meanwhile, if save up some good money, yeah, for sure the Formula 1600 once and for all.
Get that done. That'll be cool, man. Ajit is there, no, in racing. He's in the Lamar's. He was there driving for.
He drove in the Formula 2 last once. I mean, I think he stopped with it. Formula 2.
A couple of years ago, he did for what is that? 24 hours Lamar's drive, no, in France.
Rakesh Ramkumar?
Ajit, yeah, the actor.
No, I don't think he did.
It's there on his Wikipedia, bro.
It is?
Yeah, that guy is a proper. He's into
he
racing.
has
Yeah.
passion.
I have to bring that up. That'll be good.
How about you, man?
Me, man, I want to get into football, dude. There's this one annoying thing about that, where I just don't know, like, if I want to do this or not. Because for me, I'm into coaching, football coaching. So for me, coaching is not about the football player's skills or anything. It's all about the psychology that you have the player, and he's going to go play. Every player is good. Like you say, it's a team sport. Everyone trains properly, everyone plays good. But it's how you manipulate that guy to bring out the extra effort out. I have this, weird thing, like, not to say it out loud because it's a podcast and stuff, but it's like, maybe that's that one thing India lacks. Maybe I can get it for them. Be helpful in getting it for them. Somewhere around the line, not be the person who gets it. So, I want to do that. I want to football is something that I'm looking and seeing where we can go. Plus, I'm trying to we're talking about individual sports. Every person wants to play for the country, so I kind of want to bring in a movement where stop thinking about the country, stop thinking about the bank account. The country will be proud of you eventually. That's what I'm looking into. Like if you have boxing and stuff, why are you trying to go play in Olympics? Why not get into World Boxing Championships? Go there, fight for you. Like Ali did it for Ali. US, they say, oh, Ali's from US. Yeah, okay. I don't remember him taking part in Olympics. He's the world's best. Floyd Mayweather, all these guys. There are a lot of people here in different individual sports who are good.
Well, I'm happy motorsports is picking up very good.
Oh,
Industry in India.
Motorsports well.
But actually, the humans were good before, actually, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. You should listen to some old sayings from other elders, They say. There used to be more crowd earlier. When the track was in Sholavaram, now it's in Sriperumbudur. It was earlier in Sholavaram.
The one in ECR?
No, now it is in Sriperumbudur.
Okay.
Earlier it was in Sholavaram before 20 years. Yeah. So then it's like people used to travel all the way from the city to track and see the race.
Wow.
But now it's like hardly
anyone does that. Huh?
Like you need to pull them, come please come.
Those times, what do they race in?
They had those Maruti, Formula Maruti and everything.
Was there any track over here in India where they had ambassador racing? I would love to see that go down. Those British touring car racing.
Yeah.
Those are fun to watch. They just smash into each other. They try to overtake, and there's just like crazy driving going on.
Stamp and BTC is very good.
Imagine ambassador cars driving around like that with a carburetor engine with turbocharged in it.
The best thing I ever done is that there's a moment you open the bonnet, you see the ground.
Oh yes. Dude, I had once. You remember the gear shifting manual on this? How can you just do that? That's hard. We're so used to this. You're just on the side. And the guy goes, the driver goes clicks a button on it.
That's a good one.
I'm like, yo, next level, dude.
One thing is that people should. When it comes to the marketing of the sport or the visibility of the sport, it's still not.
It's not. You remember there's an actor called Prashant.
Yeah.
He was trying to do the celebrity racing thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like in the very initial stages when he was getting in touch with people and everything. He got in touch with one of my dad's friends, and he was like, he was asking, I think it was 2017 when they were asking to get sponsors to get in, and they were getting some actors who would be the team captains and stuff, and they're trying to do it all around Tamil Nadu and everything. Certain sports, how do I say this? Certain sports needs to have that feeling of cult following, but it should be in masses. Don't overload it with too much commercialization that people are just like it's disgusting for me, by the way.
That's
So for me, like if I see F1, I feel like I'm a part of that special group who understands what the hell is going on that track, right? Because I follow off the track too. I watch all the videos on the channels. I watch other YouTube channels too, and they talk about the parts which change, the new things that are going to come into. I may not have good technical words to talk about it, but I'm talking about the front wings, the minute changes, the airflows that come through. And I feel like I'm like a part of that small cult, but that small cult is not small; it's massive,
massive,
right? But it's not too commercialized. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if they try to bring that over here,
that concept has to come.
It has to come. There is so much here that you could do. Especially with cars coming down to India, the whole scenario is changing right now. What was it? 10 years ago? 15 years ago? There were way too many ambassadors.
Yes.
Do you see one of them? You see one of them, you're like, oh, that's a classic. The whole scenario is changing. But at the same time,
no, every third or fifth car you see, it's like it's either a German car, it's a BMW,
yeah,
Mercedes or Audi.
and people's love for that vehicle will automatically transform into motorsport. And if you're saying that even the topmost racing
Drivers.
not drivers, the competition is not credited with FIA, or I don't have it, I have to look into it. But if they are not, that's kind of like, yo, change that right now.
Actually pushing it, but then it'll take time.
Yeah, they have differently. What's up with the track in Noida? Are they doing anything there? Is like they didn't. I can't believe they didn't go ahead with F1 after that also.
No, it's with the taxation.
Why would you tax them? My question is this. I always had that issue with it.
It's the government thing. They
Still, bro, you make money taxing people through paying for tickets to go and see the F1.
That's why they're trying to pull in Formula E to come in India, but even they are afraid that if the same thing happens, like what will happen to Formula 1. We'll see. They might get that move.
That's a beautiful track though. I played it on the game, so I was like, yo, this track. Cause I have the 2012 or 2014 game when they were in the Noida thing. I used to go play career mode, Mohammed Faisal with the India flag on it. I was like, even the 2018 game, I play that. 2017, sorry, I have the 2017 on the laptop. I play that, but dude, it's too complicated. But I still try everything on it, Like okay, I have this question though, since you are into racing and everything. What's a differential lock?
So basically, it's like, what do you call it? Okay, so the amount of power that has to get into the wheel, whichever wheel, especially the rear wheels, right?
Okay.
So it will be like, what do you say? Imagine it's like 50-50, it's the left and the right. Since the rear wheel drive, it's a 50-50. At a certain point, having 50-50 is not going to work out, so they might change it, like either just change. Either it be like 30-60, 30-70, or the power that needs to be delivered to that right wheel.
So they keep changing it?
Yeah, they change the differential settings.
So while driving itself, they keep changing it?
That's only in F1.
That's only in F1. And the other ones, it's not like that. Oh. That's interesting. Because I always had that option for differential. I'm like, I need to figure out what this is. Because I see some guys online, they go 100%. And I'm like, why are these guys driving at 100% and they're pretty faster than me? This is not going to happen. I gotta change that on the game and see what happens. But yeah, dude. Like I said, they have to work on something here. And they have to do it quick. We can't always be trading back on. They're going to Hanoi, right? Hanoi is in Thailand?
I guess, yeah.
F1 is going to Thailand. They're going to have a track there. They have a track in Singapore. They have a track in Japan. They have a track where else?
Everywhere, most of the cities, they have more than 20, 35. But the way you're operating in 20, Canada cannot go more than that. Cannot exit more than 20. It's going to be very hectic for them to.
Where do you think F1's going to head?
I hope it stays the same.
Yeah?
Yeah. Maybe this is too much actually. I hope it doesn't upgrade.
The Halo thing was kind of...
No, that's fine.
That's safety, but in the beginning when I looked at it, I was like, maybe I would prefer if you just close the whole thing in.
No, that's right.
How's the heat inside the car? I wanted to ask you this.
Yeah, the cabin pressure, okay, if we're going to take it like this national racing, the cabin pressure maybe about 40, 45, easily 45 degrees Celsius.
How much weight do you lose by the end of it?
At least a kilo. End of the weekend. End of the race weekend, you lose at least 1 to 1.5.
And you need to have a standard weight, right?
Yeah,
hit?
You need to have standard minimum weight. There's something called minimum weight that you require when combined with the driver's suit and everything.
Yeah.
Driver being the full kit and with the car, you have to be minimum weight. There has to be minimum weight.
So
if you're less than that, you have to pay fine. Or so that either they maintain through a ballistic or I should be in ideal weight. So, yeah.
It's always... Yeah, it's like peak performance fitness to always keeping yourself at that.
True. That's, yeah, you should make sure that you're ideally because you should also notice that, imagine they say 530 is the minimum weight. You cannot be exactly 530 because once you finish the race and come, you will be like 528. so it's going to be like, you should be like 532 or something, so that even if you finish the race and come at the end of the day, because it'll be before the race and after the race also.
Okay.
Just to make sure that you have minimum. The only reason is because if you below the minimum weight, it means it creates an advantage for that particular thing for the car.
Yeah,
it goes even more faster.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
weight
balance should be there.
weight to power ratio
Yeah,
kind of
weight to
thing.
power
Yeah.
ratio.
That's good. So, bro,
So, well,
thank you.
thank you, actually. Thank you so much for calling me. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure.
It was more informative. I've never actually sat down with a proper race driver. Had conversations like this. I mean, I could go on for another 1 hour, 2 hour talking about much into F1 because that's a particular sport that has always interested me. Plus MotoGP and rally racing. I recently found out what is that damn paper they keep reading about it. And I was like, you blindly trust that guy while riding? It's like, that's the only way you ride, you know? But I looked into it, it's like, I still don't understand what it means, but I understood that he is driving based on this guy, what he's saying.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different field of...
Rally is like next level, like this is different field.
Oh my god, dude. Like, huge respect to those guys. Like, that small tight spots and that... Oh, get goosebumps when you look at it.
Yeah, and best thing
How's
is that
rally racing here?
that's good. Very good.
Huh?
Yeah, it's good in India. It's been both rally racing, everything has been here for more than 30 years. Yeah, in India, we have motorsport for more than 35, 40
They
years.
keep doing it. They have to reach that level. I think government needs to help out of that.
That's
Seriously
once the
looking
government
at these.
starts supporting.
Yeah.
See, it'll take time. So you can't just blame on the government just like
Yeah,
that.
come. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll take time.
All the structure needs to be laid down.
Laid down.
So to really think about this.
I feel maybe for my personally I feel that still people consider this even not just them, just leave our government. The common people still consider this as a
Rich man sport.
they don't consider sport, they consider it as an event. I mean like a entertainment.
That is there.
Oh, you're racing? Oh, that's like just for fun, no? That's what for fun? Yeah, very fun. Very much for fun.
Yeah, but no idea what goes down there.
Yeah.
I still remember every time I go down to the go-kart track, the outdoor one in Autodrome, I used to just like close my eyes, say my prayers, and this is it. I may not come out of this alive and go track because I would always try to hit the top 5 of the month. I always miss out. I'll be like 10, 12. I'm like, how the hell are these guys going faster? And I found out they have their own extra carts and they go at a 125cc and we are running at 110cc, so there's no way you can catch them. But that's one beauty about go-karting. I loved it was like, fuck the brakes, just drive. I used to like go around, leave the acceleration, let my weight and everything handle the whole turning part and then accelerate. So it's a crazy sport, dude.
We'll
It's like
catch up sometime for the karting.
oh, I would love that. I've never been down here to do it. Should definitely do it. And it's a crazy sport you have chosen as a pure passion, and actually to follow up and do it. You're one of those few people in my list who have been able to do what they really love.
I'm happy. That's what I'm saying. I'm happy. At least I was able to do it for 3 years, 4 years, as a passion at least. I want everyone who are listening to this. I just want to say something to everyone that at least for once, live your passion. At least for once. And no matter what age it is, just live your passion at least for once.
That's true.
That's true. The only thing is, I just know you want to know what is happiness. Live your passion for that one day. You will know what is happiness in that day. Because no matter how much you struggle, or whatever hardness or hardship or whatever you go through in that time, still your mind will be so pleased. It's like actually your brain will be blank. Don't be even running in this. Just be blank. Just because you're so happy, you won't even think about anything. This again, I'm just explaining to you verbally, but then if you really want to feel it, you just gotta have to get into your passion.
Yeah, it's a bliss.
At once, at least at once.
Yeah.
I'm happy I got it. So I understood what is happiness now.
Yeah.
So because a race weekend is like a shit weekend in one way, the other way, because you have a lot of pressure, thinking that okay, what this might happen, that or just because as a sport, right? And you're very damn tired. But even in the tiredness, you still want to drive it, and you just want that. Those 3 days, whenever I go for race weekend, those 3 days or the weekend of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those weekends are the best weekends of me. Until the next race weekends.
Yeah. I know what you mean, dude.
So this only, I'm just meaning it, but then to a person to actually feel it, experience it, he has to be there. Whatever feel or whatever it is, just be.
Because it reminds me of headaches I used to have. When Heredwood didn't have a good team, I had to like build them, and we were going unbeaten week after week, and we were winning championships after championship. And every night when I go to bed, I can't sleep for half an hour just when I'm thinking about, is that guy at the right position? Is that tactically correct? It's just so stressful. Now I miss it. I seriously miss being a coach, because that amount of effort and everything, it was my passion. Football was always my passion from the very beginning. So for me to be completely in it and then to experience that, I'm happy. Now whatever I'm doing and everything, I still have that itch. Like you have that bucket list thing to do, I still have that itch to at least go back into and start coaching. That thing is there.
Nice.
But at least you're you're literally happy with your life, or you're going to go forward with it when you have done something related to your passion.
That's it.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, "Oh, I wish I would have done that so that I could live like this," and like, no, don't do that.
Now
Don't
you
say
can
that.
go and do something else.
Yes, yeah.
Of
Of course, I'll try my hard to come
Yeah.
back, but then even if I don't, let us make it practical. Even if I don't,
Yeah.
I'm happy that I've done it
No,
already.
it's you have. What the thing about passion is, a lot of people, like you said, oh, I wish I did it, but when you're actually you have done it, it's a whole different feeling.
Yeah.
And you have pushed it to an extent where circumstances around you have allowed you to go.
Yes.
That's the way I would put it.
Yeah.
Because if you were currently in Europe, it would have been a whole different level for you.
Yes.
That I would say. That's because it's a circumstance around us. There's opportunities and things are very restricted here and
This is
stuff.
again the sport. One way I could say is, for sure, none in my entire family or my entire community, I can say, none of them have no idea about what is motorsport.
Yeah.
I myself had to figure out what is this and everything. And there was no one to support me from. Yeah. Okay, financially they supported me, but then the finance was not enough to go further on because again, just not me in the family that had other siblings.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of factors, but that's what I'm saying. So I've done it for 3 years and I'm happy for that. I'm very much happy for it. So
What's your advice on new young drivers? Because I have one guy coming on. He's coming on next, I think on Saturday, coming Saturday. His name is Anuranjan.
okay.
Last year he was in the Volkswagen thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I spoke to him about you and he was like, I don't remember. I was like, oh, he's senior. He's a senior driver. So
The thing is
what
that
would your advice be for the...
just let them be practical because it's like I knew that that's why it was always in as a passion for me motorsport because I knew where I stand. One is because of resource. The second is that the time was not that great. It was not too late. Kind of actually too late. Now there are people who have achieved so much, but again, it's all of the resource that you need also. So it's like I took it up as a passion always, so I never worried because since the past 2 years I'm not racing, so it's not a big worry for me. But I took it as a passion. The people who have taken it as a profession, there are people now who have joined later taken it as a profession. Sometimes they're not able to bag a sponsor or something, they go crazy because there's nothing apart from that for them.
They need to have a balance.
Yeah, they need to have a balance thing. So
Yeah, that's important.
that's it. And this sport being in India, you really need to be balanced.
Yeah,
Because
true.
it'll take time.
It'll take time.
It'll take time.
Alright, thank you so much for coming, man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.